Hello everyone, welcome back. It's a pleasure to talk to you again. My name is Fabian and you're listening to Podcast. It's the episode 02 of new version of Podcast, and today we are not doing a re-recording. Today we are doing a new episode, and it's kind of lighthearted, if we can say that, because we are still talking about death. But today we are talking about the 5 most bizarre deaths in history. According to me, basically, because I found a list of over 50 bizarre deaths and I chose these 5. I wanted to do 10, but I got overwhelmed. So you're getting 5. Thank you, sir. I'm recording in a room that's next to a very busy street, so if you hear sometimes assholes horning and similar stuff, that's why. First of all, let me ask you, how did you like the first episode? Was it too much special effects? I found them quite funny, and I find they're getting the mood up, because since we were talking about the dark themes, it's necessary to lighten the mood up. Hopefully I didn't went overboard, but I'll try to tone that down. It was too much.
Sorry, bro.
I'm hoping you're having a wonderful day so far, and we are jumping straight into the story. So 5 most bizarre deaths. As I said, I found the list with 50 bizarre deaths, and it was basically a lot. And there were some disgusting deaths, like some women fell into the sewage system and drowned in shit, basically.
Fatality.
And that was quite horrible. But I chose to use some that are quite interesting. So the first one is Brazilian man named João Maria de Souza. I believe I said that correctly. I hope I said that correctly. I watched some Brazilian telenovelas when I was a child. So João Maria de Souza. João Maria de Souza was the Brazilian man who died when a cow that was weighted 1.5 ton fell through his roof while he was sleeping and smashed him. The 1-ton cow was gazing on a hill behind a small house in the town of Cartinga when it stepped onto the asbestos roof, which collapsed under its weight. And Cartinga is in a hilly area of Minas Gerais, a Brazilian state traditionally known as a cattle-raising and dairy producing region. And I'm guessing that the roof was, because it's the hilly region, that the roof was in the same level as the ground, and that's how this thing happened. João Maria de Souza was 45-year-old, and he was laying in a bed with his wife when the animal fell on him. And he was taken to hospital and died 1 day later. And the cow and the roof fell only on his side of the bed. He was sleeping with his wife. His wife was completely unharmed. Talking about bad luck. According to local media reports, Mr. Souza was conscious after the incident, but had to wait too long to be seen by doctors, and that claim was subsequently denied by the hospital. He went basically to the hospital to treat only his broken leg, but his brother later said that he died of internal bleeding. Press reports have also claimed that this is the 3rd such incident in this region in just 3 years. In both previous incidents, there were no casualties. Deaths. In the first occasion, there was no one inside the house when the cow fell through the roof. In the second incident, a baby and a small child were sleeping next to the spot where the animal fell, but she luckily missed them, and that was described at the time as a miraculous escape. I agree. And the mother of this guy who died, what's his name? João. And his mother, Maria de Souza, told Brazil's Super Canal TV channel that, quote unquote, "I didn't bring my son up to be killed by a falling cow. He nearly died when he was 2 and got meningitis, but I worked hard to buy medicines for him and he survived. And now he's lying in his bed and gets crushed to death by a cow. There's no justice in this world. I agree, miss. I agree. It is really horrible way to die. Next up, we have Gary Oy. Oy. Gary Oy was a corporate, and this guy also has a Wikipedia page on his dad, so you know it's big. So he was a corporate and securities law specialist in Toronto, and he was giving a tour of the Toronto Dominion Center to a group of art ceiling students, and he attempted to demonstrate the strength of the structure's window glass by slamming himself into a window. He had apparently performed this stunt many times in the past, having previously bounced harmlessly off the glass. Like, he wanted to show that this glass is unbreakable. He probably had no problems before. And after one attempt which saw the glass hold up, Hoy tried once more. And in this instance, the force of Oy slamming into the window removed the whole window from its frame, causing the entire intact window and Oy to fall from the building. This occurred in a small conference room where a reception was being held for new art ceiling students. Structural engineer Bob Greer was quoted by the Toronto Star as saying, quotes, "I don't know of any building code in the world that would allow a 160-pound man to run up against a glass and withstand it," end quote. And in another interview, the firm's spokesman mentioned that the glass, in fact, did not break. Good for you, but it's popped out of its frame, which led to Oy's fatal plunge. Gary's death contributed to the closing of Holden Day Wilson in 1996, which at the time was the largest law firm closure in Canada. So he proved his point, basically, because the glass did not break, but the whole window popped off. Next, we have Hans. This is German, and I don't know how to pronounce this. Hans Steininger. I hope I said that right. Steininger. So Hans Steininger was the 16th century mayor of the town Brunau am Inn. Hi, this is me from the future. Apparently this town is pronounced Braunau and not whatever I said, so ignore that. Thank you. The town where Hitler was born. So he was the mayor of this town in 16th century, and he was famous for his 4-foot-long beard, which is 1.5 meters long beard. And he was known for having that beard, which was the longest in the area, while he was known for it until that beard killed him. Steininger was said to often roll his beard up into his pocket and out of the way. But one day the fire broke out and he forgot to tuck his beard away, and he tripped at the top of the stairs and he fell down. And this fall was lethal because he broke his neck. So Steininger's beard became famous for more than its length. And today his beard is displayed on a stand in the local museum in Brunau am Inn in Austria. So you can go and see it. Fatal 4-foot-long beard. Then we have Gareth Jones. Gareth Jones was a British actor who played in numerous acts and plays. And you probably heard about this because he's mostly known not by his plays but for his death. Because there are two versions of the story. In one version of the story, he died of a massive heart attack while acting in the televised play titled Underground on the British ITV network. In this version of the story, he died while he was on stage. And everyone else thought he was that good of an actor, his job, since his character also supposed to have a heart attack. So they thought he was just acting, and no one did anything until it was too late. And in other version of the story, he died off cameras while he was sitting in a makeup chair, but that's not quite as bizarre. For us at least. But can you imagine having a heart attack and you're like, help me, and no one does nothing because they think you are acting, you're doing your job. They applaud you and like, yay, great job, sir. Phenomenal. And the last story we have is Basil Brown. Basil Brown was 48 years old when he died. He was basically, how should I say it? You know those health influencers, the person who went and told people to eat healthy and to drink vegetable juices, to make smoothies and eat salads and, a healthy promoter, and he was 48 years old when he died, according to the New York Times. And during an autopsy, it was revealed that Brown was far from healthy when he died. Despite being a reported health food enthusiast, Brown had vibrant yellow skin and cirrhosis of the liver. And for those who don't know what is cirrhosis, this condition means scarring of the liver, and that means that the organ is damaged and cannot function well or cannot function at all. So he had a dead liver, basically. Cirrhosis of the liver can result from many different conditions, including alcoholism, hepatitis, and cystic fibrosis. However, investigators soon discovered that Brown's cirrhosis came from a less common cause: overdosing on vitamin A. In the weeks leading up to his death, Brown has been consuming large amounts of supplements, according to the New York Times, and chugging carrot juice. The supplements and the carrot juice combined gave him a little dose of vitamin A. Brown's mustardy complexion might have been carotenemia, a condition that can result from an intake of too much beta-carotene in one's food. And now, if you like carrots, I'm gonna read you this next paragraph so you don't freak out immediately. If you're supposedly worried about the stewed carrots you had last night for dinner, don't be alarmed. Sorry. As WebMD points out, it takes a lot of carrots to reach the dangerous level. So long as you don't eat excess amounts of the vegetables, you should be fine. But there are plenty of other seemingly healthy foods that can be dangerous too. Among these foods are proteins like tuna, which can contain high levels of mercury, and that was reported by Healthline. That means you shouldn't eat tuna more than once every 3 or 4 days, according to Medical News Today, and children should eat tuna even less frequently. I had one period of time I was craving tuna. I was eating tuna every day. Good that I didn't overdose on mercury, I guess. Additionally, some spices can cause problems if consumed in excess. Both nutmeg and cinnamon should be eaten in moderation, according to Healthline. Cinnamon and nutmeg each contain potentially toxic compounds, so be careful if you eat more than a half a teaspoon of cinnamon per day. I do. I put shit of cinnamon in my coffee, especially in fall, and don't eat more than 2 teaspoons of nutmeg. Thank God I hate nutmeg. I mean, those are just examples. Every food can kill you, basically. If you drink too much coffee, it can kill you. If you eat too much broccoli, you can get gassy and die. It happened to me once. I mean, I wanted to die because my stomach hurt so much. And that's that. Today's story was quite short. I didn't expect to be that short. I should have done 10 cases, but okay. If you like today's story and want to hear more, please subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, basically every platform. We are even on YouTube. Not video version of the episode, but you can, if you prefer listening on YouTube, you can find us there. You can follow us on Instagram at freakedoutpodcast, and Fabian Adams, but instead of a B, it's a 6, the same on Twitter. And yeah, that's that. See you next week. Thank you for your time and thank you for your listening. Bye. And be careful of the cows falling through the roof. Bye.